am showing a little bit of shoulder, even though it's really cold, but it's not cold in my apartment. And I'm feeling kind of cute. What do you guys think? Tell me if you love my shirt down below. Hey guys, and welcome back to Tommy's World. You already know it's your girl Tommy, and I am back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips for teaching English as a second language in any foreign country. But as you guys know, I've been living in Japan for the last 2 years. I'm gonna say 2 years, almost 2 years. I'm gonna say 2. At the end of this video, I'm also gonna leave a few games that I like to play in my ESL classroom that you can use on the go. So for those times when your JTE does not tell you that they want you at class, but they do, and you need a game or activity that you can use, and I got you. Stay tuned. So tip number 1 is that you need to know your students. It's that easy. It's really not that easy, but try your best to get to know your students. I teach at 3 different high schools. I have a high academic high school, a middle level high school, and then my 3rd high school would be more of a low level high school. And at all 3 schools, I have to adjust my teaching strategies to ensure that the kids are learning. So I can't use the same approach that I would use at my high-level English school with the kids at my low-level English school, because that would never work. Because these kids at my low-level English school, they don't have enough English ability even to hold a simple conversation. So the activities that I do there can't be the same like the activities that I would do at my high-level English school, and vice versa. So you need to know how good their English skills are and what you need to do specifically. You just need to know your kids and do your best to facilitate every student's learning. On to tip number 2. Let's talk about lesson planning. I'm just gonna tell you guys straight off the bat that a lot of people here who come to Japan, even though you're not teachers, you're gonna be expected to plan lessons, and you're like, oh my god, how am I supposed to plan a lesson? Don't worry, because your girls got you, okay? That's why you should just pause right now and subscribe to my channel, because I'm always giving you the tea and like, okay, so for the 5E lesson plan, we have 5 distinct E's that you need to cover by the end of your lesson. This is engage, explore, explain, extension, and evaluation. It sounds kind of difficult, but I'm gonna give you a brief explanation, and then I want you guys to go ahead and do your research, because I don't want this video to be drawn out. So we're gonna use an introduction lesson as our basis. So for the first E, which is engage, we are going to play a game of Jeopardy, and your kids can choose where Tommy lives for 500, or what do you eat where Tommy is from for 200. And this sort of activity kind of gets the class warmed up. Then for the second E, which is explore, you want to start getting into your objectives. So you're going to help the kids to figure out things like, where is Jamaica? What do people eat in Jamaica? Things like that is what I would want to come out in the exploration stage, allowing them to create their own learning. So it's so much more fun than you just saying, oh, in Jamaica we eat. In the explanation stage, you correct any of the things that they might have gotten wrong. Any errors that they made, you fix that in the explanation stage. The extension stage is basically for all the things that you didn't get to cover in the exploration and explanation. That's where the extension comes in. You just tell them all the other things that you want to make sure that they learn. And then evaluation, the last stage, is basically giving them some sort of ending activity, so you end your class on a high note. That's important. Always end your class on a high note.
That was a lot.
Tip number 3. This tip is going to help you guys to boost student engagement, because if you know, Japanese kids, they don't really talk that much in class. So you have to find a way to get them to participate in your class. And how I like to do this is 2 methods. One is group activity. So you put them in pairs to work, because they are more likely to participate if there is a group dynamic involved, but you don't want to make the groups too big or students will end up not doing any work. So you want to do like pairs or probably groups of 3, and then you can choose each group, like, oh, okay, I want to answer from each group, because with this you don't have 40 students answering a question, yet you don't leave any group out, so everyone is kind of talking and engaging with you. A second method that I use is that I will call on students' numbers. I don't know if this is just in my prefecture, but I feel like it's a whole Japanese school system thing. So they have this list with students' name and each student has a number. I will just randomly call on a number, like, okay, number 12, it's your time to answer. And it's kind of like a game with me and my kids. They think it's so funny because whenever I call somebody's number, everyone else is like, they're so happy that it's not them. And then it's just more of a game instead of just standing at the class like,
okay, so can I have a volunteer to answer a question?
Yeah, that's not gonna work because no one is gonna volunteer. But if you call their number, it's already them. Something else, yeah, this is a bonus tip that I use to get my students to participate, is that I will literally walk around the class and play eeny, meeny, miny, mo, like
eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a puppy by his toe,
while touching a kid every time I talk.
If you ever let him go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Okay, you go. And it's just fun because you just want to be engaging with the kids, having fun. If you're having fun and they're having fun, then it's more likely that you're gonna have a great class, they're gonna enjoy learning English. It's a win-win for everybody. Tip number 4, utilize positive reinforcement strategies. I know that a lot of people don't really take this as a big deal, especially if you teach in high schools. People are normally like, okay, so we normally use stickers for elementary school, but no, use up your stickers, use any sort of positive reinforcement strategy that you can employ, use it, because even though these are probably high school students, junior high school students, elementary school students, no matter what level they are, they want to know that they're doing a good job, and it's your job to ensure that they know that they are doing a good job, because once you make your classroom environment one that is conducive to learning in general, then you're gonna be winning, sis, like winning all day. So some of the positive reinforcement strategies that I use would just be like the high touch, not now it's coronavirus season, but I normally go with the high touch. So if someone answers a question, I will give them a high touch or a high five. High touch is so Japanese, that's what they say here. Or I will do the whole clapping thing. So once someone attempts to answer a question, whether it's correct or incorrect, I'll ask the entire class to clap, because that's an effort made and that needs to be rewarded. Or once you mark the papers, you can put some stickers on it. Any sort of positive reinforcement strategy that you can employ will be greatly appreciated. I'm telling you, like, I just got some letters from my Sanense students and they're leaving now, and I didn't even think that a high five was such a big deal. And then one student wrote like,
I enjoyed the fact that even when answer was wrong, you gave us a chance to do high touch, so we always felt good to participate in class.
Every little thing counts, trust me. On to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is something that's super simple, but a lot of people don't do it, and that is to keep your directions simple and always do an example of what you are asking the kids to do before actually asking them to do it. So if you want them to introduce themselves, don't just say, no one knows what you're saying. You probably didn't hear what I just said. So you need to go really slow. Remember that English is not their first language, so even if you think this is something really simple that you're saying, it's not simple for the kids, baby. So you need to take your time, okay? For example, we would say, okay, everyone, I want you to stand up and introduce yourself in a big voice so everyone can hear you. For example, I will go first. My name is Tomian. I am nani years old. Yeah, I'm not telling you my age. Bye. Yeah, so keep your explanation simple, keep your example simple, keep your instruction simple. Just utilize simple English. They know what you're saying, and if they can't understand, then what's the point? Okay, so those are my 5 tips for teaching ESL English. And now I have a huge tip for everyone who stayed to the end of this video. These are the activities that I use, and I love doing them. My kids love them, and if you haven't tried them yet, you need to. And I'm going to arrange these activities by the time that you can use them in your class. So like beginning of the class, end of the class, or during the class. Whenever your JTE asks you for an activity, I'm gonna have you ready, honey. Promise. So for the beginning of the class, I'm going to say the board race game, or Shiditori. Yeah, that's a Japanese word for the board race game. And this is basically where you use the rows that the kids are already seated in as their groups. You split the board and give them the first word, and then they have to use the last letter of the first word to make the next word. And you give a specific amount of time, like 1 minute, and everyone has to write, and it's like a race. So always gets them going. They're up, they're moving, especially if your class is after lunch and everyone is fatigued. Perfect game, promise. For the end of the class, when you planned that lesson and it was great, but it was just a little bit too short, the games that I like to use are Hangman, which is so easy. Everyone knows the Hangman game. You just write a couple blanks on the board and you ask kids to volunteer or call on their numbers and ask them to give you a specific letter until they guess the whole word. Or if you have way more time than you bargained for, then I would definitely suggest that you try the fruit basket game. And my friend Jessica actually introduced me to this game. That was the first time I did it at a camp with Jessica. Yeah. So the fruit basket game is one where one specific student is chosen. They are put in the middle to start the game. And then they will say something like, everyone who likes bananas, and everyone who likes bananas has to get up and run to another seat, and anyone who is left without a seat has to go next. And those are the games that I like to use in my English class, and I know that you guys will have so much fun doing these games. And remember, once you are having fun, it's more than likely that the kids are having fun too, because you know, people kind of feed off of each other's energy. So you have fun, they'll have fun, everyone's having fun. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I am so excited. Thank you guys for always watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, everything that you do. Please continue to support me along this journey. Remember to subscribe, like, share. I love you guys. Bye.